Hey everyone, Rheyo here, and today I'm back with my progress from days 6 through 10 of my journey to 150 Agony Resistance on a brand new Heart of Thorns account. Before I get started here, I do want to mention that there's a lot of information in this video. I've made a lot of progress thus far, so this is a lengthy video. If you want to skip ahead, there are timestamps in the video description. Otherwise, I'm going to get right into the highlights. Nothing too eventful on day 6. I just got my keys, infusions, and matrices. No eventful drops from day 7 either, but I was able to get my second +7 Agony infusion. I don't have footage of this, but on day 7, I also decided to start training leatherworking, and I got it up to level 225 that day. Same story with day 8, nothing eventful from the loot, but I was able to get enough infusions to make another +7 Agony infusion, bringing my total base AR to 21. Day 9 has been the most eventful, hands down. I didn't get anything great in terms of drops once again, but I ended up getting Tier 3 Fractal Attunement Mastery. I got 400 leatherworking, and I was also able to buy my first Ascended accessory for this account. Day 10 was incredibly eventful because I got 2 more +7 AR, which is a huge jump. This is a combination of my day 9 and day 10 Agony Resistance, but since I've done my Fractal dailies with the new Tier 3 Fractal Attunement Mastery on my account, I'm getting more AR from my encryptions. On top of this, since I'm nearing the end of Tier 1, I'm able to open up the LFG section for Tier 2 even though I'm not able to open it. I'll expand on this topic a little bit more in a second. So I'm only on day 10 and I have quite a bit of things going for me. With just doing my day 9 and day 10 dailies, I've gotten 119 +1 Agony infusions, and this is since I've gotten my Tier 3 Fractal Attunement Mastery. So you can see after just 10 days, I've made some major progress. Now, there are a couple points that I want to go over, and the first one I want to go over is the relationship between Tier 3 Fractal Attunement Mastery and the ability to open up LFG at Tier 2. The synergy between these 2 points is like a snowball effect, and it just keeps helping you progress faster and faster and faster in multiple ways. So I'm going to try and explain this as clear as I can. If I don't explain it in a way that's clear to you, please make sure to comment below, and I'll answer you as soon as I can. At this point, I have way more Agony Resistance than I personally need. I think the highest requirement in Tier 1 is like 17 for Fractal 25, and I'm Fractal level 23, but I have 35 AR. And since I'm near the end of Tier 1, I think you have to be within the last 5 levels of a tier to be able to LFG in the next tier. I'm able to open up LFG for Tier 2. I can't open a Tier 2 Fractal by myself. But the way you can open a Fractal that is higher than your personal level is to party with someone that has a higher level. So if I wanted to access, say, Fractal 35, but my level is only 23, I can party with another member that has their personal level at 35 or higher, then I will be able to select Fractal level 35, and I can run that if I have the AR. Where the synergy comes in with this is, now I'm building AR at a quicker rate than my personal level is going up, and that's because I was restricted to Tier 1 for so long. I was running my dailies at levels that were lower than my personal level, so my personal level wasn't going up, but I'm still building my AR. So now that I have the AR and I can also LFG in Tier 2, I can get my AR to a point where I can do a couple Tier 2 dailies. I can LFG in Tier 2 to get people with the personal level to open up these instances. And then when I run these instances, I'm going to, 1, get my personal level up so I can start opening Tier 2 Fractals myself. And 2, I'm going to be getting Tier 2 and Tier 1 chests because I'm running my Tier 2 dailies at this point. And on top of that, I'm going to be getting more encryptions. I'm going to be getting more AR from the daily chests, from the boss chests, from the encryptions because I'm getting more encryptions. So you can see how this has a snowball effect into your progression. It just makes you go faster and faster and faster. Now, eventually, I will hit a wall with my AR because I only have 6 slots available to me and I don't have max leatherworking. But the benefit of being in Tier 2 also opens up the possibility, the chance of getting infused rings from my daily Tier 2 chests once I run Tier 2s. Should I ever get an infused ring from the Tier 2 daily chests, what I'm going to do is attune that ring as opposed to infusing my old rings and just extract the infusions from my old rings and put them into my newly attuned and infused rings. The reason I'm going that route is because it's a lot cheaper and it's a lot less complicated, although it could take more time unless I get the infused rings that I want as drops fairly quick. The options that I have should I choose to infuse my rings requires 3 materials. It requires 5 vials of condensed mist essence, which drop in Fractals 1 through 20. It requires 3 globs of coagulated mist essence, which drop between Fractals 21 and 50. And then it requires 1 shard of crystallized essence, Resistance, which drops to Fractals 51 or higher. So I have three options. I could either farm all the materials, which at this moment I actually can't because I can't access tier 3, let alone I don't even have the AR for it. And I could buy the materials from the merchant that I need, but that costs a lot of gold and it costs a lot of relics. But the option's there should you want to, and that would probably be your quickest bet, because the last option would be to promote all the materials, which requires a lot of vials of condensed mist essence, and those are already rare enough to get as it is. The quickest way to get your infused rings, should they not be dropping from the tier 2 chest, would be to buy them from the merchant, though I personally don't recommend that because it's, one, again, a lot of gold, and secondly, a lot of relics. And the gold in my scenario, or my situation right now, I need to save all the money that I can in order to afford level 400 to 500 leatherworking. That's more important to me right now, because once I get 500 leatherworking, then I can start saving money to start crafting my own full ascended armor set, which is a total of 6 agony slots. So you can see the synergy between Fractal Attunement Mastery and the ability to LFG in Tier 2 in order to party people to open fractals that I can't open myself makes a huge difference in how fast that I can progress from now on. The next point I want to address is the accessory that I got. The way I got this accessory was by going to the Laurel Merchant and spending 40 Laurels and 50 Ectos. I highly do not recommend this, because that is a potential 55 gold that I just missed out on that I could have put towards getting 400 and 500 leatherworking. The better options here would be to, if you have access to Bitterfrost Frontier or Ember Bay, farm those and get the ascended accessories from those maps with the map currency there, and you can select whatever stats you want. This includes Heart of Thorn stats as well. That's the optimal way to go if you have access to that. But if you don't, you can still get core stat accessories for much cheaper by doing guild missions with a guild. The reason why I didn't do either of those is because, one, I have not been on at times where my guilds are running guild missions. Secondly, I simply don't have access to these methods in the Heart of Thorns maps because I started with Lake Doric on this account, so I only have access to an ascended back piece, 2 ascended amulets, and an ascended ring from these maps. And the last point I wanted to talk about is, where do I go from here? So what I'm going to start working on is going for 500 leatherworking, because as soon as I can get 500 leatherworking, then I can start saving up to make my ascended gear. And the quicker that I get my ascended gear, the quicker I can slot the agony that I'm getting from my fractals, and the quicker that I can do higher level fractals so I can get more agony, get more money. That way I can put it towards more ascended gear, and so on and so on and so on. And a side thing I'm going to work on is unlocking the elite spec for my thief. So next time you see this progress video, then you'll probably see me using a staff. So that's the progress today, guys. You can see I'm progressing at a pretty steady rate, and it's only day 10. I don't have a set date for my next progress video. This is probably going to be something that I do every other week because I don't want it to take over my weekly guides that I post every Monday. This will also give me time to actually put some quality behind these progress videos instead of throwing something together really quick. But the one thing that you can expect is that the next progress video will be days 11 through 15. But that's it for today, guys. I want to know what your progress is if you're on this journey with me, or if this guide is helping you out. Let me know where you're at in your journey to building up to 150 AR. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask them below in the comment section. I will answer them as soon as I can. If you want to check out my previous progress videos or keep up with any future progress that I do, I have the link to the playlist of this series in my video description. And as always, if you guys enjoy this content, then please make sure to subscribe. Once again, I'm Rheyo, and I'll see you in my next progress video.